6 months later, Captain Kang Hyun-woo stood in the observation lounge of the Baekdu, looking out at Earth. The blue marble hung in space exactly as it always had, but everything else had changed. "Admiral Kang," came a voice behind him. Hyun-woo turned. Commander Jin-ho was approaching, carrying a data pad and wearing the uniform of a full commander. After the battle at Harmony Nexus, many promotions had been necessary. "I still can't get used to that title," said Hyun-woo. "You'd better get used to it quickly, sir. You have a meeting with the Senate Defense Committee in 2 hours. "Right. What's the latest report from our new territories?" "The former Morgeth worlds are adapting well to human administration. The surviving Morgeth population has accepted our offer of citizenship. Apparently they prefer our style of government to their old war-based system." Hyun-woo nodded. After the battle, the Senate had awarded humanity all former Morgeth territory as compensation for the unprovoked attack. It had tripled human space overnight. And the other Senate species? 3 more have requested mutual defense treaties. The Jelkori want to share their medical technology in exchange for our manufacturing techniques. The Yeltari are offering trade agreements. Any problems? The usual. Some species are still nervous about having humans as neighbors, but after what happened to the Morgeth, no one is talking about preemptive attacks anymore. Through the lounge windows, Hyun-woo could see dozens of ships in Earth orbit. Some were human vessels, but others bore the markings of various alien species. Trade ships, diplomatic vessels, even a few military escorts. "Sir," said Jin-ho, "there's something else. We've received a message from the architect remnant." Hyun-woo turned sharply. "The architects? I thought they were extinct." "Mostly. But there's a small population that survived in the outer galaxy. They've been hiding for 1,000 years. What do they want? To meet us. They say we're the first species they've encountered that reminds them of themselves." Hyun-woo considered this. The architects were the reason for the ancient war protocols. Their technology had been so advanced that it took the combined fleets of 40 species to defeat them. "Set up the meeting, but maximum security protocols." "Yes, sir." Jin-ho left and Hyun-woo continued looking out at the stars. So much had changed. Earth was no longer an isolated world on the edge of civilization. It was becoming the center of a new kind of galactic community. A soft chime indicated someone was requesting entry to the lounge. The doors opened to reveal Dr. Shin Hee-jin and engineer Lee Yuna. "Admiral," said Dr. Shin, "we have the final reports on the new ship designs." "How many are we talking about?" Yuna smiled. "With our expanded manufacturing capabilities and the new alien technologies we've studied, we can build 50 new ships per year, all of them more advanced than the original Baekdu. And our defensive capabilities? Every human world now has orbital defense platforms. Every colony has its own fleet. If anyone tries to attack us again, they'll face over 200 fully armed human warships." Dr. Shin added. "Our intelligence network has also expanded significantly. We now have monitoring stations throughout the galaxy. No one can plan another surprise attack without us knowing about it." Hyun-woo walked to the star charts displayed on the lounge wall. Red dots showed human worlds. Blue dots showed allied species. Yellow dots showed neutral parties. There were very few red dots when this all started. Now there were dozens. "Doctor, what's your assessment of the galactic situation?" "Stable, for now. The destruction of the Morgeth fleet sent a clear message. Most species prefer cooperation to confrontation." "Most species?" "There are always a few who think they can benefit from conflict, but they're being very quiet right now." The lounge doors opened again. This time Ambassador Park entered, wearing the formal robes of her new position as Earth's senior representative to the Interstellar Senate. "Admiral, I have news from the Senate meeting." "Good news or bad news?" "Good news. The Senate has voted to make humanity a permanent member of the Security Council." "Security Council?" "The 5 species responsible for maintaining galactic peace. Until now, it was just the Velthari, the Jelkori, the Nolvari, the Kithran, and the Morgeth. And now? The Morgeth are gone. We're taking their place." Hyun-woo sat down heavily in one of the lounge chairs. 6 months ago, he had been a simple patrol captain. Now he was responsible for maintaining peace in a galaxy with billions of intelligent beings. "Are we ready for that kind of responsibility?" he asked. Ambassador Park sat across from him. "Admiral, in the past 6 months, we've established trade relationships with 23 species. We've mediated 3 territorial disputes. We've provided disaster relief to 4 worlds affected by natural catastrophes. We've shared our medical technology freely with anyone who asked. And for the first time in centuries, galactic peace is actually improving. War casualties are down 60%. Trade is up 40%. Scientific cooperation has tripled." Dr. Shin nodded. The other species were so focused on maintaining the status quo that they forgot about actually making things better. "We're not just keeping the peace, we're building a better galaxy," Yuna added. "Our manufacturing techniques alone have revolutionized how other species build things. The Jelkori say our methods have increased their production efficiency by 300%. "What about military threats?" asked Hyunwoo. "Non-existent, sir," said Ambassador Park. "Every species in the galaxy has seen what happened to the Morgoth. No one wants that to happen to them." A soft chime indicated an incoming priority message. The lounge's communication screen activated, showing the face of Primar Chancellor Veltharion. "Admiral Kang," said the crystal being. "I hope I'm not interrupting." "Not at all, Chancellor. What can I do for you?" "I wanted to personally thank you for humanity's contribution to the recent Yeltari crisis." "The refugee situation?" "Yes. When the Yeltari homeworld was damaged by solar flares, your species immediately offered to house 3 million refugees. No questions asked. No payment requested," Hyunwoo shrugged. "They needed help. We had room." "That attitude is exactly what the galaxy has been missing," said Veltharion. "For too long we've been focused on protecting what we have instead of helping each other grow." "Is there something specific you need, Chancellor?" "Actually, yes. The architect remnant has agreed to meet with you. They want to discuss something they call the next phase." "Next phase of what?" "They won't say, but they've indicated it involves preparing for something they call the return." "The return? Of what?" "Unknown. But the architects have been hiding for 1,000 years. If they're finally ready to reveal themselves, it must be important." After the communication ended, the lounge was quiet for several minutes. "Sir," said Jinho, "what do you think the architects mean by the return?" "I don't know," said Hyunwoo, "but whatever it is, we'll be ready for it." He stood up and walked back to the window. Earth hung in space below them, surrounded by the ships of dozens of different species. Human colonies dotted the star charts. Allied fleets patrolled trade routes that had been dangerous just months before. "You know what I think?" he said finally. "What's that, sir?" asked Ambassador Park. "I think the Morgoth were right about one thing. We are dangerous." "Sir?" "We're dangerous to anyone who thinks might makes right. We're dangerous to anyone who believes that some species are better than others. We're dangerous to anyone who thinks the galaxy can't be improved." He turned back to his team. "The Morgoth thought we would conquer the galaxy. They were wrong. We're not conquering anything." "Then what are we doing?" asked Yuna. "We're making it better. For everyone." Through the observation lounge windows, the stars looked different than they had 6 months ago. They looked less distant, less cold. They looked like places where friends lived, places where humans were welcome, places where the future was being built by beings working together instead of fighting each other. Admiral Kang Hyunwoo smiled as he watched a Jelkori medical ship dock with a human space station. The crew would be exchanging medical techniques that would save lives on both their worlds. The galaxy was a big place, but it was feeling more like home every day, and whatever was coming next, humanity would face it not as conquerors, but as partners in building something better than what came before. The stars didn't look threatening anymore, they looked full of possibility. The celebration lasted exactly 10 minutes. Then the alarm started ringing. "Captain, to the bridge immediately," came Commander Jinho's voice over the ship's communication system. "We have a problem." Hyunwoo ran from the crew celebration in the main auditorium to the bridge. What he saw on the main screen made his blood turn cold. More alien ships were arriving at Harmony Nexus. Lots of them. These weren't the mixed fleets from before. These ships all looked the same. Long, black, and covered with weapons. "Who are they?" asked Hyunwoo. "The Morgeth Extinction Fleet," said Dr. Shin Hye-jin, who had joined them on the bridge for the return journey. "I didn't think they would be this stupid." "Extinction Fleet?" Lieutenant Min-ji looked up from her weapons station. "Captain, I'm counting over 400 ships, all heavy warships, and they're not here for a friendly chat." Ambassador Park appeared on the bridge, still, wearing her formal diplomatic uniform. "Captain, I'm receiving a message from the Morgeth Fleet Commander. Put it through." The main screen changed to show a massive aquatic creature floating in purple liquid. This Morgeth was much larger than the representative they had seen earlier. Scars covered its body and its multiple eyes burned with rage. "Human ship," the creature said, its voice like drowning thunder. "I am War Leader Kreshmak of the Morgeth Dominion. Your demonstration was impressive, but it changes nothing. I'm Captain Kang Hyunwoo of the human ship Baekdu. What do you want?" "What I want is simple. Your species dies today. All of you." The screen changed to show human colonies throughout known space. Ships were burning, cities were under attack, people were running in panic. "We have been planning this for months," continued Kreshmak. "While you prepared your little demonstration, we positioned fleets near every human world. Earth, Mars, the Jupiter colonies, the research stations. All of them are under attack, right?" Now Hyunwoo felt sick. "You're attacking civilians. We are removing a threat to galactic stability. Your species is too dangerous to exist. The Senate granted us membership. You can't just ignore that." Kreshmak's laugh was horrible. "The Senate? Half of them are cowards. The other half are fools. They don't understand what you really are. And what are we? Destroyers. You take the technology of peaceful species and turn it into weapons. You combine things that should never be combined. You make war from tools meant for exploration." The alien leaned closer to the screen. "In 100 years you would have conquered the galaxy. We know this because we have seen it before." "Seen what before?" "There was another species like yours, 1,000 years ago. They called themselves the Architects. They also took alien technology and improved it. They also claimed to want peace while building weapons of unimaginable power." The screen showed images of ruined worlds and dead space stations. "The Architects destroyed 47 civilizations before we finally stopped them. It took the combined fleets of all Senate species to defeat them. And it cost us 3 billion lives." Hyunwoo was quiet for a moment. "So you've decided to commit genocide based on something another species did 1,000 years ago?" "Yes." "That's insane. That's survival." The communication ended. Around them, the Morgeth fleet began moving into attack formation. "Captain," said Commander Jin-ho, "we need to get back to Earth immediately. Our people need help." "We can't abandon the colonies," said Ambassador Park. "Millions of people are under attack." "We can't save everyone," said Dr. Shin. "The Morgeth have been planning this for months. They have fleets everywhere." Hyunwoo looked at the tactical display. 400 enemy ships surrounding them. Billions of humans under attack throughout known space. One ship against an entire alien empire. The smart thing would be to run. Try to reach Earth and defend the homeworld. Save what they could and hope for the best. But Hyunwoo had not become a starship captain by always choosing the smart option. "Lieutenant Min-ji," he said, "how many fighters can we manufacture?" "Continuously? About 200 per hour. But, Captain, even with 1,000 fighters, we can't take on 400 capital ships." "Who said anything about taking them on?" He turned to the communication station. "Open a channel to Harmony Nexus." "Channel open, sir." "Harmony Nexus Control. This is Captain Kang of the human vessel Baekdu. I request immediate audience with Primer Chancellor Veltharion. Stand by." A few minutes later, the crystal being appeared on the screen. "Captain Kang, I assume this is about the Morgeth fleet." "You know what they're doing?" "Of course. They are committing an act of genocide against a species that was just granted Senate membership. This is a clear violation of galactic law." "Then, stop them." "I cannot. The Morgeth claim they are acting in self-defense against a future threat. Technically, this gives them legal authority under the Ancient War Protocols. Ancient War Protocols? A law created after the Architect War. Any species that poses a potential threat to galactic stability can be eliminated preemptively. Hyun-woo felt his anger rising. So the Senate membership means nothing? Only if you survive the next 24 hours. What? The Ancient War Protocols allow for a trial by combat. If the accused species can defeat the accusing species in battle, they are considered proven innocent of the charges. 1 ship against 400? Those are the terms. Hyun-woo looked around his bridge. His crew was staring at him, waiting for orders. Behind them, through the bridge windows, he could see the massive Morgeth fleet preparing to destroy them. "Captain," said Ambassador Park quietly, "we should run. Live to fight another day. And let them slaughter our people? Better some survivors than no survivors." Hyun-woo was quiet for a long moment. Then he smiled. "You know what the Morgeth made one mistake about?" "What's that, sir?" asked Commander Jin-ho. "They assumed we only built 1 ship." He pressed a button on his command chair. "This is Captain Kang Hyun-woo, commanding officer of the human stellar navy ship Baekdu. All ships, this is Code Omega. Repeat, Code Omega." The bridge crew looked confused. Code Omega wasn't in any of their training manuals, but Dr. Shin was smiling. "Captain, are you sure about this?" "Doctor, it's time the galaxy learned what humans really are." Space around Harmony Nexus began to shimmer. Reality seemed to bend and twist. And then, one by one, ships began appearing from nowhere. Not just any ships. Ships identical to the Baekdu. First one appeared, then 5, then 20. Soon, there were dozens of identical human warships floating in perfect formation around Harmony Nexus. The Morgeth fleet stopped moving. Even from his ship, Hyun-woo could imagine their confusion and growing fear. "Impossible," came Kreshimak's voice over the communication channel. "Our intelligence showed only 1 ship." "Your intelligence was wrong," said Hyun-woo. "Did you really think we would build just 1? How many ships do you have?" Hyun-woo looked at his tactical display. 47 human warships were now visible around the station, but the shimmer in space suggested more were still arriving. "Enough," he said. On the main screen, he could see the Morgeth fleet commander's multiple eyes widening with what might have been fear. "This changes nothing," said Kreshimak. "We still outnumber you 10 to 1. "Numbers don't always matter," said Hyun-woo. "You should have learned that from our demonstration. We learned that you are dangerous, which is why you must die." "Then come and try." The Morgeth fleet attacked with everything they had. 400 warships opened fire simultaneously. The space around Harmony Nexus lit up like a new sun as thousands of weapons discharged at once. The human fleet didn't move. 47 ships floated calmly in formation as the alien weapons struck them, and just like before, the weapons did nothing. The adaptive armor absorbed energy attacks. The gravity manipulation systems turned physical weapons harmless. The temporal distorters made some attacks never happen at all. But this time, the humans fired back. 47 ships opened their manufacturing bays simultaneously. Thousands of fighters poured out like a swarm of metal insects. But these weren't the same fighters from the demonstration. These were something new. The fighters combined in mid-space, forming larger and larger constructs. 10 fighters became 1 gunship. 10 gunships became 1 frigate. 10 frigates became 1 destroyer. In minutes, the human fleet had doubled in size, then tripled, then quadrupled. "What are you?" whispered Kreshimak. "We're humans," said Hyun-woo. "We adapt, we overcome, we survive." The battle lasted 15 minutes. When it was over, the Morgeth extinction fleet was extinct. As the debris cloud expanded around Harmony Nexus, Hyun-woo opened a channel to all ships in the area. "This is Captain Kang Hyun-woo of the Human Stellar Navy. To all Senate species, observing this battle. Humanity desires peace. We want to be your partners, not your enemies. But we will not be your victims." He paused, making sure every alien fleet in the area could hear him. "The Morgeth thought we were dangerous because we innovate. They were right. We are dangerous. To anyone who threatens us or our people. Another pause. But we're also loyal. Friends to those who treat us with respect. The choice is yours. The demonstration chamber inside Harmony Nexus was the size of a small city. Floating platforms held representatives from all 12 Senate species. Each platform was designed for the specific needs of its species. Some floated in water for aquatic beings. Others existed in different dimensions for energy creatures. Yunwu stood on the human platform with Ambassador Park. Through the transparent walls they could see the Baekdu floating in space nearby. It looked small compared to some of the alien warships, but Hyunwoo knew that appearances could be deceiving. "Honored representatives," said a voice that seemed to come from everywhere at once. "We gather today to evaluate the species known as humanity. They will demonstrate their greatest technological achievement to prove their worthiness to join our Senate." Primer Chancellor Veltharion materialized on the central platform. The crystal being's body reflected light in beautiful patterns as it moved. "Humans," said Veltharion, its voice like breaking glass. "You may begin your presentation." Ambassador Park stepped forward. She had prepared for this moment her entire career. Everything she said in the next few minutes would determine humanity's future. "Honored Chancellor and esteemed Senate members," she began, "humanity presents the research vessel Baekdu. This ship represents our commitment to peaceful exploration and scientific advancement." Murmurs came from several alien platforms. Hyunwoo could see them scanning the ship with their instruments. He wondered what they were finding. "Research vessel?" came a voice from the Kethmaran platform. The insectoid being's wings buzzed with agitation. "Our sensors detect weapon systems. All research vessels carry defensive systems," replied Ambassador Park calmly. "Space can be dangerous." "Dangerous indeed," said another voice. This came from the Morgoth platform. The aquatic being floated in a tank of purple liquid. "Perhaps you could demonstrate these defensive systems?" Hyunwoo felt his muscles tense. Here it came. The trap was being set. "If the Senate wishes," said Ambassador Park, "we would be happy to show our defensive capabilities." On the Baekdu's bridge, Commander Jin Ho was watching the alien ship formations. "Captain," he said into his communicator, "they're moving into attack positions. The Morgoth fleet is powering weapons." "Understood," Hyunwoo replied quietly. "Stay ready, but don't power weapons until they fire first." Back in the demonstration chamber, Ambassador Park was continuing her presentation. "The Baekdu represents humanity's approach to space exploration. We believe in preparing for any situation while maintaining peaceful intentions." She gestured toward the ship. "Our vessel includes advanced medical facilities that can treat injuries from most known species. Our manufacturing systems can produce tools and supplies needed for long-range exploration. Our communication arrays can translate most galactic languages in real time." The Senate members seemed unimpressed. Several were clearly waiting for something to happen. "Tell us about your weapons," demanded the Teshari representative. The energy being flickered between visible and invisible as it spoke. "As I mentioned, we have defensive systems appropriate for a research vessel," said Ambassador Park. "Show us," said the Morgoth representative. "We will provide targets." Without waiting for permission, the alien activated a control. Outside, dozens of Morgoth warships suddenly appeared from behind the space station. Their weapons were already charging. "This is a demonstration of Senate military capability," announced the Morgoth representative. "Your vessel will defend itself or be destroyed." Hyunwoo smiled grimly. Finally, the mask was off. "Captain," came Jinho's voice over the communicator, 57 enemy ships are targeting us. Multiple weapon types. They're not playing games." "Neither are we," said Hyunwoo. He pressed a button on his communicator. "All stations, this is the captain. Battle stations, code red, weapons free." On the Baekdu's bridge, Lieutenant Minji's fingers flew over her controls. "Singularity projectors online. Adaptive armor activated. Manufacturing bays beginning fighter production." "Enemy ships are firing," announced the tactical officer. Energy, beams, plasma bolts, and gravity missiles streaked toward the Baekdu. The alien weapons lit up space like a deadly fireworks display, and then something incredible happened. The first energy beams hit the Bectu's hull and simply disappeared. The adaptive armor absorbed the energy and used it to strengthen itself. Plasma bolts struck the ship and turned into harmless light. Gravity missiles created distortions that the ship seemed to swim through like a fish in water. "Impossible," whispered the Kethmoran representative. But the real show was just beginning. The Bectu's manufacturing bays opened like flowers blooming. Dozens of small fighter craft poured out, each one moving with impossible speed and agility. They scattered among the alien ships like angry wasps. The fighters weren't just fast, they were smart. Each one analyzed its target and adapted its attack pattern in real time. Some used micro-singularities to punch through enemy armor. Others created temporal distortions that aged enemy hull metal until it crumbled. "Fascinating," said Veltharion, watching the battle with what might have been admiration. "Your fighters are using Zulnathi temporal technology. We've made some improvements," said Ambassador Park. The Morgeth fleet was in chaos. They had expected to destroy one human ship in seconds. Instead, their massive warships were being cut apart by tiny fighters that moved like ghosts through space. "Retreat," ordered the Morgeth commander. "All ships retreat immediately." But retreat wasn't possible. The human fighters had surrounded the alien fleet. Every time a Morgeth ship tried to escape, fighters would appear in its path. "How are they doing that?" demanded the Teshari representative. "Our sensors show the fighters appear from nowhere." "Phase technology," explained Ambassador Park. "We learned it from studying your own energy beings. Our fighters can exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously." Now other alien fleets were joining the battle. The Kethmoran sent their swarm ships. The Vorlak deployed their planet-killer dreadnoughts. The Yeltari activated their reality-warping cruisers. The Nixmore unleashed their living bioships. 300 alien warships attacked the single human vessel, and the Bectu destroyed them all. It didn't take hours. It didn't take minutes. The entire battle lasted exactly 12 minutes and 34 seconds. The Bectu's main weapons had never even fired. When the shooting stopped, space around Harmony Nexus was filled with debris from alien ships. The Bectu floated calmly in the middle of it all, completely undamaged. Its fighters moved in perfect formations back to their mothership. The demonstration chamber was completely silent. "Remarkable," said Veltharion finally. "Your defensive systems are quite effective." "Thank you," said Ambassador Park. She seemed completely calm, as if watching the destruction of 300 alien warships was just another day at the office. "Tell us," said the representative from the Jelkori, a species that had not joined the attack. "How is this possible? Your species has barely developed faster than light travel. How do you possess technology that surpasses our own?" Ambassador Park smiled. "We had excellent teachers." She gestured, and a holographic display appeared showing wreckage from crashed alien ships. Over the past 70 years, representatives from various Senate species have visited Earth. Unfortunately, their ships suffered mechanical problems and crashed. We studied the wreckage to understand your technology. You reverse-engineered our ships? The Kethmoran representative's wings buzzed angrily. "We learned from them," corrected Ambassador Park. "But we didn't just copy your designs. We improved them." "Improved them how?" asked Veltharion. "By combining technologies from different species in ways none of you had considered. Your species tend to specialize. The Zulnathi work with energy. The Kethmoran focus on swarm tactics. The Morgeth prefer brute force. And humans? Humans take the best ideas from everyone and combine them into something new." The demonstration chamber erupted in discussions. Some species were angry, others were impressed. A few seemed frightened. "There is another question," said the representative from the Nolvari, a species known for their strategic thinking. "You claim this is a research vessel, but it just destroyed 6 different battle fleets. What would an actual human warship be capable of?" Ambassador Park's smile became dangerous. "Would you like to find out?" "No," said Veltharion quickly. "That will not be necessary." The crystal being turned to address all the platforms. "Senate members, We must now vote on humanity's application for membership. All those in favor of granting full membership status? 8. Platforms lit up with approval signals. All those opposed? The 4 surviving species that had attacked remained silent. They had learned their lesson. The motion passes, announced Veltharion. Humanity is granted full membership in the Interstellar Senate, with all rights and privileges thereof. Ambassador Park bowed formally. On behalf of all humanity, we thank the Senate for this honor. We look forward to working with you to maintain peace and prosperity throughout the galaxy. Later, as they prepared to depart Harmony Nexus, Hyunwoo received a private communication from Veltharion. Captain, said the crystal being, I must ask, how many ships like the Baekdu does humanity possess? Hyunwoo considered his answer carefully. Enough, I see. And are you truly interested in peaceful cooperation? As long as everyone else is peaceful, so are we. A wise philosophy. Welcome to the Senate, Captain. I believe your species will. The Baekdu moved through space like a giant metal whale. Hyunwoo stood on the bridge, watching stars streak past on the main screen. They had been traveling for 2 weeks now, heading toward Harmony Nexus. In 1 more week, they would arrive at the place where humanity's future would be decided. Captain, incoming message from Earth Command, said Lieutenant Kim Minji from the communications station. Put it through. Admiral Choi's face appeared on the screen. Behind him, Hyunwoo could see the busy command center at Facility Black Mountain. Captain, how is your crew holding up? They're ready, sir. We've run every training simulation you gave us. The ship's systems are working perfectly. Good. I have an update on the situation at Harmony Nexus. Dr. Shin has been monitoring alien communications. The screen changed to show Dr. Shin. She looked more tired than before. Captain, the situation has gotten worse, she said. We now have confirmation that 4 Senate species are planning to attack you. The Morgeth, the Kethmoran, the Vorlok, and the Tesh-Hari. 4 species. Commander Jinho moved closer to the screen. How many ships are we talking about? At least 200, maybe more. The bridge was quiet for a moment. 200 alien warships against 1 human ship, no matter how advanced, seemed like impossible odds. Sir, said Hyunwoo, should we turn back? Admiral Choi shook his head. If we don't show up, they'll interpret it as surrender. Within 6 months, alien fleets will be in orbit around Earth. Dr. Shin nodded. The Senate doesn't tolerate cowardice. Species that fail to appear for their evaluation are marked for immediate conquest. Then we keep going, said Hyunwoo. But I want my crew to understand what we're facing. After the communication ended, Hyunwoo called a general assembly. All 2,000 crew members gathered in the ship's main auditorium. He looked out at their faces. They were young and old, men and women from every part of Earth. All volunteers who knew they might not see home again. You all know why we're here, he began. In 1 week, we'll reach Harmony Nexus. We're going there to represent all of humanity before the Interstellar Senate. He paused, choosing his words carefully. I've just learned that several alien species plan to attack us. They don't want humanity to join their Senate as equals. They want us as slaves, or dead. A murmur went through the crowd, but no one looked afraid. If anything, they looked angry. We knew this might happen, continued Hyunwoo. That's why we built this ship. That's why we've been training. The aliens think we're primitive. They think 1 human ship can't stand against their fleets. He smiled. They're about to learn how wrong they are. The crew cheered. The sound echoed through the ship like thunder. After the assembly, Hyunwoo toured the ship. He wanted to see how his people were handling the pressure. What he found impressed him. In the engineering section, Chief Petty Officer Ryu Tae-min was working on the ship's adaptive armor systems. Tae-min had lost both arms in a mining accident 5 years ago. Now he had mechanical arms that were stronger and more precise than human hands. How are the armor systems, Chief? Asked Hyunwoo. Better than perfect, Captain, said Tae-min, not looking up from his work. We've programmed responses to every known alien weapon type. The armor will learn from each attack and become stronger. What if they use weapons we haven't seen before? Taemin grinned. Then the armor will learn those too, within seconds. In the medical bay, Chief Medical Officer Oh Yun-soo was preparing for battle casualties. She was a small woman, barely 5 feet tall, but Hyun-woo knew she was one of the best doctors in the human fleet. "Are you ready for what's coming, Doctor?" he asked. "As ready as anyone can be for treating wounds from alien weapons," she replied. "We've studied the medical effects of every weapon type the Senate species use. We have treatments ready for energy burns, gravity distortion injuries, even temporal displacement sickness." Temporal displacement? Some alien weapons attack you. In the past, very nasty. But we've figured out how to treat it. In the weapons section, Lieutenant Minji was running final tests on the singularity projectors. She was the youngest officer on the ship, only 24 years old, but she understood the weapon systems better than anyone. "Lieutenant, are you nervous about the battle?" asked Hyun-woo. Minji looked up from her control panel. "Nervous? No, sir. Excited?" "Yes, sir." "Excited. These weapons are incredible, Captain. We can target enemies through dimensions. We can create gravity wells that pull ships apart. We can even reverse time around a small area to undo damage to our own ship." "Reverse time?" "We learned that from studying Zulnathi technology. It only works for a few seconds, but it's enough to repair battle damage instantly." On the 3rd day of their final week, they received another message from Earth. This time it was Ambassador Park. "Captain, I have good news and bad news. The good news is that 8 Senate species have agreed to hear our demonstration fairly. They're not planning to attack. And the bad news? The 4 species that want to destroy us have convinced 2 more to join them. The Yeltari and the Nixmore have agreed to participate in the attack." Commander Jin-ho whistled softly. 6 species. How many ships is that?" "Our best estimate is 300 ships, all of them advanced warships." Hyun-woo felt his stomach tighten. 300 against 1. Even with their advanced technology, those were terrible odds. But then he remembered something Engineer Yuna had told him during training. "Ambassador, does the enemy know about our manufacturing capability?" "What do you mean?" "The ship can build additional fighters and drones during battle. We don't have to face them with just 1 ship." Ambassador Park's eyes lit up. "No, they don't know about that. Our intelligence suggests they think you're bringing a single vessel. Then we still have some surprises for them." On the 5th day, they began detecting other ships. Long-range sensors showed alien vessels moving toward Harmony Nexus from all directions. Some of the energy signatures were enormous, much larger than the Baekdu. "Captain," said Minji from the weapons station, "I'm reading at least 50 ships that are bigger than us." "Size isn't everything, Lieutenant. Remember what happened to the dinosaurs." "Sir?" "They were big too, but the mammals were smarter." On the 7th day, Harmony Nexus appeared on their screens. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. The station was a work of art, made from materials that seemed to glow with inner light. Around it, alien ships floated in perfect formations. Each species had its own section of space, their ships arranged in patterns that probably had cultural meaning. "Captain," said the communications officer, "we're receiving a message from Harmony Nexus Traffic Control." "Put it through." An alien voice spoke in perfect English. "Human vessel Baekdu, you are cleared to approach demonstration platform 7. Please maintain minimum safe distance from all other vessels. Acknowledged, Harmony Nexus. Baekdu inbound to platform 7. As they got closer, Hyun-woo could see the alien ships more clearly. They were beautiful, but they were also clearly weapons of war. Gun ports lined their hulls. Shield generators glowed with energy. These were not peaceful exploration vessels. "Commander Jin-ho," said Hyun-woo, "bring all systems to full readiness, but keep the weapons powered down. I don't want to appear threatening." "Yet," added Minji with a grin. "Yet," agreed Hyun-woo. They took their position at platform 7. Around them, alien ships moved into attack formations while pretending to be simple observers. Hyun-woo could see the trap being set. As soon as the demonstration began, the shooting would start. "All stations, this is the captain," he announced over the ship's communication system. "We've arrived at Harmony Nexus. In 12 hours, we'll show the galaxy what humanity can do. Get some rest. Tomorrow, we make history. In his private quarters, Hyunwoo looked out at the stars. Somewhere among them was Earth, where billions of people were going about their daily lives. They didn't know that their freedom depended on what happened in the next 24 hours. He thought about his family back home, his wife, his children, all the people who were counting on him to bring humanity safely into the galactic community. "Don't worry," he said to the stars. "We won't let you down." The transport ship moved through empty space for 8 hours. Hyunwoo sat in the passenger section with Admiral Choi and Ambassador Park. They had not told him where they were going. All he knew was that they were heading toward the edge of the solar system. "We're almost there," said the Admiral, looking at his watch. "Almost where?" asked Hyunwoo. "You'll see." The pilot's voice came over the speakers. "Approaching facility Black Mountain, requesting permission to dock." "Permission granted," came the reply. "Proceed to Bay 7. Hyunwoo looked out the window. He saw nothing but stars and empty space. Then, slowly, something appeared. It looked like a small asteroid at first, but as they got closer, he realized it was much more. The facility was huge, bigger than any space station he had ever seen. It was built inside what looked like a natural asteroid, but Hyunwoo could see that most of it was artificial. Docking bays and communication towers covered the surface. Ships moved in and out like busy insects. "How long has this been here?" he asked. 52 years, said Admiral Choi. "We started building it right after the first alien crash. It's been growing ever since." Their ship docked with a soft bump. They walked through an airlock into a corridor that looked like any military base. But Hyunwoo noticed that everything was bigger than normal. The hallways were wider. The doors were taller. The ceiling was higher. "Why is everything so large?" he asked. "You'll understand soon," said the Admiral. They took an elevator that went down for a very long time. When the doors opened, Hyunwoo stepped into the most incredible sight of his life. They were standing on an observation platform overlooking a massive construction bay, and in that bay was a ship that took his breath away. It was enormous, longer than 3 city blocks, as wide as a football stadium. The hull was dark gray, almost black, and seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Strange patterns covered the surface like circuits made of silver light. "Meet the Baekdu," said Admiral Choi, "humanity's first real warship." Hyunwoo stared at the ship. "It's impossible. How did we build something like this?" A woman's voice answered him. "Very carefully, and with a lot of help from our alien friends." Hyunwoo turned. A woman in an engineering uniform was walking toward them. She was about 40 years old with short black hair and intelligent eyes. Her uniform had the insignia of a chief engineer. "Captain Kang, meet Lee Yuna," said Admiral Choi. "She designed most of what you're looking at." "Designed?" Hyunwoo shook the woman's hand. "You mean you built this from scratch?" Yuna laughed. "Not exactly from scratch. We had some very good examples to learn from." She led them to a conference room that overlooked the construction bay. Through the windows, Hyunwoo could see hundreds of workers crawling over the ship like ants. When the first alien ship crashed, "In 2089 we learned something important," Yuna explained. "Alien technology isn't magic. It follows the same basic laws of physics that we do. They just found different ways to use those laws." She pressed a button on the table. A hologram appeared showing the inside of an alien ship. "This is from a Kethmoran scout that crashed in Australia. See this?" She pointed to a strange device. "It's their faster-than-light drive. For centuries, humans thought you needed exotic matter to travel faster than light. But the Kethmoran do it by folding space around their ship." "Like origami," said Hyunwoo. "Exactly like origami. We studied their drive for 10 years. Then we built our own version. But we made it better." The hologram changed to show human technology. "Our drives are 30% more efficient than theirs. We can travel farther and faster using less energy." Admiral Choi sat down at the table. "Show him the weapons systems." Yuna's smile became dangerous. "Those are my favorite part." The hologram showed the ship's weapons. They looked like nothing Hyunwoo had ever seen before. Most alien species use energy weapons, explained Yuna. Lasers, particle beams, plasma cannons. They're effective, but they have limits. What kind of limits? Range, power consumption, and they can be blocked by the right kind of shielding. But we found something better. She pointed to strange devices along the ship's hull. These are singularity projectors. They create tiny black holes. Hyunwoo's eyes went wide. Black holes? As weapons? Very small ones. They last for only a few seconds before they evaporate, but in those few seconds, they can destroy anything they touch. How is that possible? We learned about it from a Zulnathi energy being that got trapped in Earth's magnetic field, said Admiral Choi. When it died, we studied its remains. We discovered how it manipulated gravity at the quantum level. Yuna nodded. It took us 30 years to figure out how to recreate that ability. But we did it. Another person entered the room. This was a man in a military uniform with commander's stripes. He was younger than Hyunwoo, maybe 35 years old. Captain Kang, this is Commander Nam Jin-ho, said Admiral Choi. He'll be your second in command. Jin-ho saluted. It's an honor to serve with you, sir. The honor is mine, Commander. How many crew does this ship need? 2,000, said Jin-ho. All volunteers, all sworn to secrecy. We've been training together for 3 years. 3 years? We knew this day would come eventually, said Admiral Choi. The Senate has been expanding their territory for centuries. It was only a matter of time before they noticed Earth. A new voice joined the conversation. Actually, they've known about us for much longer than we thought. Everyone turned. A woman in a scientist's uniform was walking into the room. She was about 50 years old with gray hair and tired eyes. Dr. Shin Hye-jin, said Admiral Choi, our head of alien intelligence. Captain, said Dr. Shin, shaking Hyunwoo's hand. I've been monitoring Senate communications for 15 years. They've been watching us since we first developed nuclear weapons. Watching us? They have automated monitoring stations throughout this part of the galaxy. Any species that develops nuclear weapons gets added to their watch list. Dr. Shin sat down and activated another hologram. This one showed star charts with different colored areas. The red zones are species that have been conquered or destroyed, she explained. The yellow zones are species currently under evaluation. The green zones are full Senate members. Hyunwoo looked at the chart. There was a lot more red than green. We're currently in the yellow zone, continued Dr. Shin. But I've intercepted some very troubling communications. What kind of communications? Several Senate species are planning to attack Earth during the demonstration. They don't want humanity to join their club. They think we're too dangerous. Dangerous how? Admiral Choi answered that question. Because we're innovators. Most alien species reached a certain level of technology and then stopped advancing. They became comfortable with what they had. But humans never stop trying to make things better, added Yuna. That scares them. Dr. Shin nodded. The Morgoth faction is particularly worried. They've been the Senate's primary military force for 800 years. They don't want competition, so they're planning to eliminate us before we become a threat, said Hyunwoo. Exactly. My sources indicate they're preparing to attack the moment you arrive at Harmony Nexus. Ambassador Park spoke for the first time since they had entered the U facility. Which is why the Baekdu isn't just a demonstration ship. It's a weapon of war. Yuna stood up and walked to the window overlooking the construction bay. Every system on that ship is designed to fight and win against multiple alien fleets. The armor can adapt to different types of attacks. The weapons can target enemies from different dimensions. The shields can absorb energy and redirect it back at attackers. How is that possible? Asked Hyunwoo. Because we've had 70 years to study how alien weapons work, said Dr. Shin. Every crashed ship taught us something new about their military capabilities. And we've been testing our theories, added Commander Jin-ho. 3 months ago, we intercepted a Kethmaran raiding party that was attacking a human colony. We destroyed them completely. They never even knew what hit them. Admiral Choi stood up. Captain, tomorrow you'll begin intensive training on the Baekdu systems. You have 2 weeks to learn everything before we depart for Harmony Nexus. 2 weeks to learn how to operate the most advanced warship in the galaxy? Yuna grinned. Don't worry. We designed the interface to be intuitive. Most of the ship's systems are automated. You just need to know how to give the right orders. And if the Senate species try to destroy us? Then we show them that humanity isn't as helpless as they think we are, said Admiral Choi. Captain Kang Hyun-woo stared out the window of his small patrol ship. The stars looked peaceful today. Jupiter's moons moved slowly in their orbits below him. He had been doing this job for 20 years. Every day was the same. Check the mining stations. Make sure no pirates were stealing cargo ships. Report back to Earth Command. His communication panel made a soft beeping sound. Hyun-woo pressed the button to answer. Captain Kang here, he said. Captain, this is Admiral Choi Dae-ho. I need you to come to Station 7 immediately. This is a Priority 1 order. Hyun-woo sat up straight in his chair. Priority 1 orders were very rare. He had only received 2 in his entire career. Both times something big was happening. Yes, sir. I'm on my way. Good. And Captain, tell no one about this call. The communication ended. Hyun-woo looked at his crew of 12 people. They were all good soldiers. But if the Admiral said tell no one, then he would tell no one. Change course for Station 7, he ordered his navigator. Emergency speed. But sir, we're supposed to check the Europa mining facility today, said Lieutenant Kim Min-ji, his weapons officer. Plans changed. Do as I said. The young woman nodded and began working at her controls. Their ship turned and moved toward the outer edges of the solar system. Station 7 was far away. It would take them 6 hours to get there. While they traveled, Hyun-woo thought about Admiral Choi. The old man was tough and smart. He never wasted time on small problems. If he wanted to see Hyun-woo personally, something very important was happening. Station 7 looked like any other military outpost. Gray metal walls, docking bays for ships, communication towers. But Hyun-woo noticed more guards than usual, and the guards were watching everything very carefully. Admiral Choi was waiting in the docking bay when Hyun-woo's ship arrived. The Admiral was a tall man with gray hair and serious eyes. He wore his uniform perfectly, as always. Captain, thank you for coming quickly. Follow me. We have much to discuss. They walked through corridors that Hyun-woo had never seen before. The Admiral used special key cards to open doors. They passed through 3 security checkpoints. Finally, they entered a large meeting room. Ambassador Park So-jin was already there. She was Earth's top diplomat, the person who talked to alien governments for humanity. Seeing her here made Hyun-woo even more worried. Please sit down, Captain, said the ambassador. What I'm about to tell you will change everything you think you know about Earth's place in the galaxy. She pressed a button. A large screen appeared on the wall. It showed a massive space station surrounded by alien ships. The ships looked nothing like human designs. Some were long and thin like needles. Others were round like balls. A few seemed to be made of crystal. This is Harmony Nexus, Ambassador Park continued. It's the meeting place of the Interstellar Senate. 12 alien species control most of the galaxy. They make the rules for everyone else. I've heard stories about aliens, said Hyun-woo, but I thought they were just rumors. Admiral Choi laughed, but there was no happiness in the sound. Oh, they're very real, and they've been watching us for a long time. Yesterday we received this message. The screen changed. Now it showed a creature made of blue crystal. When it spoke, its voice sounded like breaking glass. People of Earth, I am Veltharion, Primar Chancellor of the Interstellar Senate. Your species has developed faster than light travel. This means you can no longer hide in your small corner of space. You must prove that you deserve to join the galactic community. The crystal being continued talking. You have 3 solar cycles to prepare a demonstration. You will show us your greatest technological achievement. If we judge you worthy, you may join the Senate as junior members. If not, your species will be quarantined to your home system forever. No appeals, no second chances. The message ended. The room was quiet for a long moment. Junior members, said Hyun-woo slowly. What does that mean? It means we would have no real power, Ambassador Park replied. We would follow their orders. We would pay taxes to them. We would give them whatever resources they wanted. And if we refuse? Admiral Choi's face became very grim. Then they destroy us. Every species that has refused their offer is now extinct. The Senate calls it making room for more civilized races. Hyunwoo felt cold. How many species have they destroyed? In the last 1,000 years, 43. The number hit Hyunwoo like a punch to the stomach. 43 entire civilizations wiped out because they wouldn't submit to alien rule. Most species try to impress the Senate with peaceful technology, said Ambassador Park. Medical devices, computers, environmental restoration tools. They think showing how civilized they are will earn respect. Does it work? Sometimes, but those species become servants, not equals. They mine resources for the Senate. They build ships for the Senate. They fight wars for the Senate. They're slaves with fancy titles. Admiral Choi stood up and walked to the window. Captain, I'm going to tell you something that only 50 people on Earth know. We've been preparing for this day for 50 years. Preparing how? We've been building something. Something that will make the Senate think twice about treating humanity like servants. What kind of something? The Admiral smiled for the first time since Hyunwoo had arrived. A warship. The most advanced warship in the galaxy, and you're going to command it. Hyunwoo's mind raced. A secret warship, built in 50 years? Sir, with respect, we've barely had faster-than-light travel for 10 years. How could we build something more advanced than species that have been in space for thousands of years? Because we've had help, said Ambassador Park. Not from aliens who wanted to help us, from aliens who crashed on Earth. She pressed another button. The screen showed photographs of wreckage, twisted metal and strange materials scattered across desert ground. Over the past 70 years, we've recovered pieces from 14 different alien ships that crashed or were shot down near Earth. We studied every piece. We learned how their technology worked. And then we made it better. Better? Admiral Choi nodded. Humans have something most alien species lost long ago. We're creative. We take things apart and put them back together in new ways. We solve problems that others think are impossible. The Senate species have been using the same basic technology for centuries, added Ambassador Park. They've become comfortable, lazy. They don't innovate anymore. But we do, said the Admiral. And in 3 weeks, you're going to show them exactly how innovative humans can be. Hyunwoo looked at both of them. Why me? I'm just a patrol captain. There are officers with more experience. Because you're calm under pressure, said Admiral Choi. Your service record shows that you make good decisions even when everything is going wrong. And because you understand that sometimes the only way to keep peace is to be ready for war. Ambassador Park leaned forward. Captain, I won't lie to you. This mission is dangerous. There's a good chance that some of the Senate species will try to destroy you the moment they see what you're bringing. They won't want humanity to have the power to stand up to them. But if we don't try, said Admiral Choi, then humanity becomes slaves forever. Your children will work in alien mines. Your grandchildren will fight in alien wars. Earth will become just another resource planet for the Senate. Hyunwoo was quiet for a long time. He thought about his family back on Earth. He thought about all the people who didn't know that their entire future depended on what happened in the next few weeks. What do you need me to do? Admiral Choi smiled again. Pack your bags, Captain. Tomorrow we're taking you to see the most beautiful and terrifying ship humanity has ever built.